This week on Top Billing, take a trip beyond the Boerewors curtain with Afrikaans rapper Jack Barrow. At a huge birthday bash, the best present Lerato Zar Malloy gets is a question. Winnie the Opera opens to huge interest at the State Theatre, with the leading lady there in person. Spitball wizard Imran Tahir gets to know the glories of his new home. Spot tonight's top hat and win 2 nights at the Drakensberg's 5-star Cleopatra Mountain Farmhouse. Ancient, sunny, delicious and mythical Cyprus is an island you struggle to leave. And in tonight's location, if you want to build a super energy efficient home, get a German woman on the job.
Good evening and a very warm welcome to Top Billing. If there's anything that sums up tonight's Highveld location, it's that still waters run deep. Set in the low grasslands and almost completely anonymous from the outside, it's what lies beneath the skin of this fantastically energy-efficient home that sets it apart.
When UK-born James Forbes suggested to German-born Doris that they marry and move from George to Joburg, he had a tough sell on his hands, until in an airline mag, she spotted a piece of country in the city and sent him to investigate.
James, I'm so glad I found this place. It's almost in the middle of nowhere.
We're actually only about 15 minutes away from Fourways, so yes, we are in the countryside, as much countryside as you could really dream of finding around Johannesburg, but we are still pretty close to the city.
I'm actually a farm girl and I always lived in nature, greenery around me, so there was no option for me going downtown and having big walls around me and fences.
In fact, she brought a return ticket from George and I had to exchange that for a one-way ticket together with a purchase order at Monaghan Farm.
Yes, those are warthogs. Although 300 homes are planned here, 75% of the land will be kept undeveloped for the joy of humans and hogs alike.
Prosper, how did the estate come about?
I grew up on this farm, and with the pressures of the sort of city arriving on our doorstep, and we had to look at doing something to develop it. We tried to imagine a way of developing it that would keep the beauty of the place, maintain the pleasures of it as a farm, but also, some sensible development, which is what we came up with this scheme, which is with, an organic vegetable garden at the centre, huge areas of the farm protected for open space for enjoying, but then sharing it with others.
In Doris and James, he had homeowners who embraced the spirit of building green. The practice is trickier. Doris would be the one who researched, sourced specialists, project managed, and worked with architect Enrico De Funkio.
Enrico, from the outside, the house looks fairly simple, but I'm sure there's a lot more to it.
Sure, the house has to be simple, almost to fit in the guidelines of the state. So it's very linear, it's very simple, but it's layered with 2 things mainly. The specific requirements of the client, like having 2 different areas, one for the kids and one for them, and then a communal area here for everybody to come together and be entertained here. The other aspect is all the green features of the design, and it's really about how we have integrated very technical items like photovoltaic panels and solar panels and water tanks in a way that is sensitive, that is attractive in the design of the house. So that is really an opportunity to create a new aesthetic out of a necessity.
Conceived on green principles, by the time it came to bricks and mortar, Doris knew more about installing all these systems than her builders did.
I think we all have to do something to save this planet, if you see what's going on in the world. And yeah, we want a nice place for our children in the future.
The opportunity here was, in many ways, an intellectual challenge also, to make the most of what the South African environment offers us in the Highveld, the open spaces, the indoor-outdoor lifestyle, yet at the same time do it in a manner that didn't fritter away the precious resources that we have.
What systems have you put in place to make sure that everything works harmoniously?
Pretty much 80% of the technology that we employ in trying to be environmentally friendly here is actually very old technology. It's not particularly expensive, and it's really just down to the planning and proper implementation of those old ideas. Basic cavity wall insulation, putting shutters across windows to cut out the direct heat. All of that cuts down on the consumption of energy and enables us then to put on the high tech on top of that, which is the photovoltaic on the roof, the heat pumps and the more modern technologies.
When planning for their new home, there was more than just the 2 of them to consider. They each have 2 children from a previous marriage, all of whom are in or on the brink of adolescence, so a very sound decision was made.
From what I understand, you've divided this area into 3 different spaces, but they all flow together quite nicely.
For children, it can be quite noisy in the house, so we thought we on the left, they on the right, in between, entertaining, kitchen, where we come together.
Once everything's opened up, we've got the light from the atrium, and it all becomes one space. It integrates into the outside areas underneath the pergola, onto the patio, and it really is the centre of activity here.
They have also divided heating, cooling and lighting into 3 separate zones. So if the children are away, that whole wing's energy consumption can be cut right down.
Oh, this is my bedroom now.
Wow, Doris, this colour of the wall is actually quite dark.
It is, and I was quite surprised that it worked so well with the rest of the room, like the white blinds and the curtains. We've got 5 big windows here, especially the one behind you. Of course, we've got a full panorama view into the green, into the fields.
Supplying plenty of hot water to the bathrooms are solar-powered heat pumps, which draw ambient heat from the air all around to warm the water, even when there are sub-zero temperatures outside.
The bathroom is the second most important place after the kitchen, so it's not just a bathroom today anymore, it's like a little spa. The outside shower is the best ever. We hardly ever shower inside because it's so nice being under the sky.
Indeed, it's never been just about technology. It's also about using organic material like these wall mounts and this recycled sea creature of a chandelier.
James, the bar fits quite nicely into this space.
Yeah, from here I can pretend to be king of all I survey, I guess. However, this whole area really ties in delightfully with the patio area and out into the pergolas and the whole outdoor experience. So really when the weather suits, which is probably 364 days of the year, we can open everything up and this really becomes one contiguous space, indoor, outdoor, and refreshment provided.
I really love what you've done with that wall.
In fact, these are natural twigs that are encased in an epoxy and made into a sheet. So you can see from here actually, we had an offcut that we made into a drinks tray for the bar.
They hope the luxury of the children's wing with ensuite bathrooms and a central entertainment area will get them to invite friends over instead of spending time trawling malls.
Okay.
Okay, so now I understand what you mean by a 3rd separate space. This is awesome. I wish I had a place like this as a kid.
You probably saw the health warning on the door. Yes, this is the kids area.
Yep. So how does this space work?
Well, we wanted to create an area for the children that really radiates off this central lounge area, and it creates a self-contained place that they can bring their friends, entertain, and not because we don't love them, but at least it gives them some privacy as they're growing up, and each of the bedrooms are off on the 4 corners, and yeah, this is the kids' wing.
Okay, so do all the bedrooms look kind of the same?
They're laid out very much the same way, but each of them have been painted by the children, choosing their own colours.
Okay.
We remain to be persuaded whether that was a good idea, but that's their individual taste, and yeah, each room is different through that expression of character, I guess.
And these children's en-suites pack everything in.
Now this is how you optimize space. What a brilliant idea.
I think you're right. We've made a good use of a small amount of space and been able to combine the shower with the bath, the sunken bath, which is insulated, so comfort guaranteed.
With savanna vistas, indigenous floral surrounds and a house that makes the most of it with eco-science well executed, here's how we should be living.
Doris, if you had to do this all over again, would you change anything or would you keep it exactly the way that it is?
I would keep it the same way because I think it's perfect. It is modern. I lived in castles, I lived in cottages. It's always a different style. And the next one I built will maybe something totally different to this modern square house today.
It's so refreshing to see a house that's environmentally friendly, but it's still the epitome of good design.
We wanted to make sure that the house was something that everybody could enjoy in the normal sense without necessarily having to be an eco-fundamentalist. So we've combined the environmentally friendly principles, the technologies, but without sacrificing what makes living in South Africa so good.
As George Michael once sang, if you're gonna do it right. And between them, the Forbes family have created a very compelling blueprint for others to do the same.
Love it or hate it, it's impossible to be indifferent to the music of Jack Parow. Some think his music is irredeemable trailer trash, where to others, he's the new deep godfather of Afrikaans rap. We decided to make up our own minds, so we joined Jack for a real trailer park braai, featuring arguably one of his greatest works. He's never braai sauce. Some guys in IT only have eyes for their laptops, where other guys in IT, like Colin Mashawana, seem to have realized that they need an actual living, breathing, vital antidote to it all. Colin finds his in the form of the gorgeous actress Lerato Malloy, who's clearly the heart and soul of his party. It's an opera, all right, just no soap opera. As the punchline for the new show Winnie the Opera goes, love her or hate her, but come and hear her. That's exactly what we did on opening night at the State Theatre. Since we as a nation adopted spin bowler Imran Tahir, it's been a very happy arrangement. Having learnt his first 2 words of Afrikaans, prachtige meisie, and duly marrying a South African girl, we took Imran on a tour of discovery to see some of the other natural wonders of the country he now calls home. Did you spot tonight's top hat? Tell us when you could win 2 romantic gourmet midweek nights for 2 at the world-renowned Cleopatra Mountain Farmhouse in the majestic Drakensberg. Life in Cyprus appeals to both sides of the brain. Logically, they have the mildest winters in Europe. Their summers are gorgeous. Everyone speaks English. Crime is practically unheard of. And there's no such thing as inheritance tax. But that's just one side of the story. Here are the other reasons why this gorgeous island appeals just as much to your creative and imaginative side of the brain. Tonight we wish U2 frontman Bono a very happy birthday, and to everyone else, if you still haven't found what you're looking for, then join us next Tuesday on SABC3 7:30 and let Top Billing help you find it.